This summer was full of a lot of disappointments. There were some films that I really liked, but overall, there were a lot of films that just ended up falling flat. They were missing some of that spark. But this fall, I've been noticing with movies like Prisoners, Rush, The Spectacular Now, and especially Gravity, that we've been getting a slew of intelligent, original films that have made up for everything that I found lacking in our summer this year. You guys have been flocking to these films and they've been doing really well at the box office. It's showing me that audiences, international audiences, really do have a taste and a palate for intelligent and original cinema. And that is so exciting for a guy like me that loves film, because the movies in the summer that disappoint us, Hollywood has made those films because they think that's what we want. But this year, we've said we want more. We want more than that. You guys have been putting your money where your mouth is, because most films that release big budget, mainstream films, when they release, they will slide in revenue 60% between the first weekend and the second weekend. The Avengers was extremely well received, but it still had about a 50% drop off, 50% retention rate between its first weekend and the following weekend, opening weekend and the second weekend. The Hobbit had about a 48% if I'm not mistaken. Inception was seen as an intellectually stimulating movie, intelligent film. Inception still had about a 63% retention rate between its opening weekend and second weekend. Man of Steel, a little bit on the uglier side, it had a drop off of 65%. It retained 35% of its pull, of its income. That is far more common for blockbusters or big budget films. But Gravity has maintained 80% of its audience. That is amazing. Being number one at the box office last weekend, 55 million. Everyone thought it was gonna bomb. It was not tracking well. But it blew everybody away. And this week, again, 44 million. That is unheard of. Word of mouth is powerful. And you guys watched Gravity, and you guys have been telling people to go watch it. But that's also telling Hollywood, when you make big budget films, when you want to take those risks, take a risk on original, intelligent cinema. The executives will go where the money is. If you want intelligent films, then, so we don't have to be like, Hollywood never pumps out anything original. Well, go watch these movies, and they will not only give us more films like Gravity, but that will hybridize and affect the blockbusters we get. So I wanted to thank you guys for going to watch these, putting Gravity at number one. Not necessarily because of Gravity, though I thought it was great, but because when you guys put those films at number one, that's what Hollywood's gonna make for us in the future. So we can avoid a summer of disappointments. We can have a summer of movies that are big and bombastic, but are also smart. Because I love more Inceptions. I love more Gravities. I love movies like The Avengers and The Man of Steel and The Hobbit and all that. But imagine if we can have movies that are the best of both worlds. Okay, so tell me what you guys think. Do you think that I'm overreacting? Do you think that I'm completely off my rocker? Or do you think there's something to what I'm saying? Either way, your money, it really is changing things. It really can make a difference. Because Gravity was number one at the box office. And I think we'll get more movies like that. Because you are changing the world.